Check out my new clothing range now under the name Club Vector. The link for that is in the description. And also the link for U7 Buy, where you can find cheap, fast and reliable coins. And if you use the code TVM at checkout, you get a bigger discount. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to the Road to Glory. The rest of the gameplay from this weekend. I was 11-2 at one point. I think I said yesterday I was 10-2. I was actually 11-2. And then I thought, right, well, that leaves me with 3 wins required for 14. And I can do that in the evening, right? So, midnight-ish, I don't go to bed till God knows when. So, I've got plenty of time. I didn't play any, and no, I'm joking, I did. I finished goal 3 as normal, but the record I was on, the run I was on, shall we say, was a good one. Lost 1 in penalties, lost the other one to a 50-50 game, but it was one of those. I thought that went in, by the way. 50-50 game, but genuinely, on the day I lost, and that's fair enough. So yeah, it was a bit like, okay, I could actually go on and do something really good here. I could finish maybe Gold 1 or even try and scrape into Elite 3 or something. I was on that kind of form. And I took that big break, and not once did I... Well, that's a lie. I had 1 bad gameplay experience this weekend, and I managed to win it, which is very, very rare for me. If I'm in bad gameplay, it stops me playing quick, and playing quick is how I get that... I don't know, it's how I get into my opponent's half and how I sort of and score my goals. Like I'm sort of passing fast. I'm doing those little drag backs and things. If I can't have those, then I can't really play properly, and then I just don't have a plan B, basically. So anyway, I managed to beat that guy. That was to go like 5-0. The gameplay when I came back last night was absolutely horrific. It was really sluggish, really slow, really horrible, and I was like, wow, great. What a brilliant way to a weekend. Genuinely took me about 8 games just to win 3. And I just went on an appalling run. But it was nothing to do with me. I just couldn't play because I couldn't move. And unfortunately, that killed any... And that's the problem, I think, right? So what I was thinking to myself was, if we get to 14 and I've only lost 3, maybe at a push, if I've only lost 4, I will play until I have no games left, or I'll play until it's impossible for me to hit the next rank, right? So there was a chance, and I'd said it to myself at 11-2, right? This is a decent record. It's too good to not keep going, but because I then just couldn't move, I was just so happy to be done, and that killed the desire for me to want to play. It was really frustrating because I've gone on that run that, 11-2 might not sound like a lot to a lot of people, especially those that go 30-0, but to me, 11-2 is one of the best sort of performances I've put in Weekend League ever. I've only ever finished Elite once. I think I'm a consistent Gold 2/Gold 1 player if I can be bothered to do it, but things like that just kill it for me. Top comment was about the little... Let me read it out. So, TrialZ's says, that is the norm, sadly. Inception talks about it all the time. He mentions that the player takes consistent touches leading up to the opponent's goal, but when reaching the box, he pushes the ball further away all of a sudden. And I've noticed that over the last... That's not just in this FIFA, that's previous FIFA and the FIFA before, and every FIFA that I can remember. It does it, in my opinion, to essentially just give your opponent the chance, because obviously you're one-on-one, and it's highly unlikely you're gonna miss that, because the goalkeepers are trash anyway, right? So it's highly unlikely that you're gonna miss it. So the game gives your opponent another chance by altering the stride pattern and the touch on the last touch just before you get into the penalty area. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, yesterday we were one-on-one to essentially win the game, right? What was it, 3-3, 2-2 or something like that? And that was the first defeat that I took. I got through on goal, and the last touch that Eden Hazard, a 91, 92 rated player, with insane ball control and dribbling, the last touch that he took was horrific, and it basically just gave the ball to the goalkeeper, and we ended up losing that game on penalties. This was the start of the bad gameplay, right? That I went 3-0. This was a good player anyway, right? So I didn't feel too bad about losing this game. However, I was shocking. I had barely any chance of getting back into this game until he went 4-1 down, and then all of a sudden, every shot I had went in. The ball my players felt a little bit better. I mean, I don't know. I always thought it was a server problem and EA sort your servers out. But as soon as he scored that 4th goal, he couldn't touch the ball. And he'd been fine up until that point. So that game finished 4-3. And to be fair, he was lucky to get out of there at 4-3 because I had a couple of opportunities that I literally wasted and squandered at 4-3. That it could have been 4-4. That probably would have changed the game back to the way it was. And unfortunately, we couldn't quite muster it, but this was the next game, and I managed to. Well, I'm lying. It wasn't the next game. I've taken quite a few defeats out of here because otherwise the gameplay would be sort of 20 minutes long, and that's just a little bit too much. But yeah, I mean, I don't really care because I was planning on stopping at 14 anyway. But at 11-2, I'd thought to myself, right, well, I'm going to... That was a great goal. I'm going to go as far as I can go here. But then those defeats that I took just annoyed me so much. And, I've lost maybe 1 or 2 in there that I felt like maybe even if the gameplay had been good, I probably would have lost. But the other ones, they were all those type of games that... I mean, I'm playing them now. This is one of those games I think I lose. And he gets in here and he scores. And I think is this the game? The 3... Oh, no. No, this wasn't the game. There's a game where I think it goes 3-3 at one point, and all 3 of his goals are kick-off goals. It's like, come on now. That was a game I felt like I could have won, but the gameplay was so bad that I just couldn't do anything. And that's what irritates me. Like, how can you go 11-2 and then all of a sudden take like 4 or 5 defeats on the bounce? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, am I really coming up against people that good in a row? I'm not sure I am. So yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is, and we finished goal 3 as usual. But you know what our luck is like. You never know what can happen, right? You never know. I should have gone near post with that, and I went across the keeper. Albin Bishop says, stream more. Now, I made a video and a post on Twitter about this, saying why I wasn't going to be streaming anymore. And if I can remember, I will link it for you. But I used to stream every weekend and maybe 1 or 2 times in the week. That was Matter on his weak foot. Just one of those games where passes just weren't going properly and it was just a mess. So at this point, we're 12 and... I think we went 12 and... I don't know, 5? I said I lost a lot of games in a row. I was 11-2. I finished on 14-6. So to be fair, I only really lost 4 in that time. I went 3-4, which isn't, I've managed to get there. I had 10 games left, but it annoyed me so much that I thought, nah, you're all right. This free kick, by the way, right? This is the first one I've scored. I've had so many. They tend to either go like that, or they will just go blah, 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 down the side of the wall. I don't get it. Like, it is a glitch. It is broken, but there is something to it. You need to be able to get it in the right... I don't know. It's weird, man. It is really weird. But yes, streaming wise, and look at this for a goal. This is beautiful. Streaming wise, since I've stopped streaming, incidentally, because like I said, I used to stream every weekend and once or twice in the week. I feel a lot better. It's not sort of a quote-unquote mental health thing, but I didn't really like streaming, and it got in the way of doing YouTube and a few other things. This whole Club Vector thing that I've started is actually going quite well right now. We've got sort of a few Instagram influencers pushing that for us. So yeah, I'm enjoying doing that a lot more than I am doing streaming. I'm not a fan of streaming in general, and I stopped it for several reasons, one of which I didn't like it, the other which was because it ate up a lot of time over the weekend that I would spend doing videos as well as playing Weekend League, obviously. But my stress levels while playing the game itself are lower since I've stopped streaming as well. So unfortunately, I won't be streaming more, is the long and short of it. But it is what it is. Alexander says, first road to glory I've ever followed after playing the game for years. Keep it up. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate you. When I finished Gold 3 yesterday, literally as it popped up, and you'll see it pop up as well, just to prove that's where we finished, and to fill like an extra 5 seconds before we transition into the live packs. Not that there are any good ones, but, you know, there are a couple. Just before, when I finished Gold 3, I was like, do you know what? We finish Gold 3 every week. We just go after a few objectives. Maybe I'll do a draft. And why do people not get bored of this? And if you're sat there thinking, hang on a minute, he's right. I am bored of it. I apologise for ruining the experience. But I do often sit down and think, why do people watch this, honestly? Like, I'm sure other people do far more exciting Road to Glories. But, you know, thank you very much for the support as always. And let's crack on with some packs. So, a few suggestions for our right back. Of course, the team looking like this, and I said I was going to change Marcelo. Kyle Walker is 100% going. He did something else. I wrote down Walker. So Walker's going. He's just going to drop to the reserves or whatever. Marcelo's going to have to go because his stamina is doing my head in. And Bernardo Silva's going because he just lacks the pace. Someone said about Mahrez. Mahrez has got, what does he say, like a 4-star? We'll have a look at Mahrez in a second. But he has 5-star skills, 4-star weak foot, and 9+ stamina over Dembele. So, yeah, we could look into that. I'm not a massive fan of Mahrez, but we could look into that. The problem with Mahrez is the fact that I'm going to have to swap Marcelo for probably Mendy of Real Madrid, and I've looked at him and I don't really see the appeal. Like, he's alright, but I don't see why everyone uses him. It's a bit of a weird one. Plus, we've got Robertson. I'd like to get him back in there. We've worked it out. We'll have a look. We'll see what happens. You know, there's a couple of informs on the way as well. They might help us out a little bit. I'm not going to make any changes to this team until Thursday, so it's all sort of speculation until then. Camera settings, GT90 is literally the co-op camera angle. I don't change anything. It's just co-op, and that's it. I think the stadium obviously changes a few things in terms of height and distance and things like that. So, we've got, I mean, squad battles wise, don't get excited. It's literally like bronze something. So whatever it might, I don't even know. Yeah, bronze 3. It is the worst. We get a premium loan player pack. I'm well excited for this. 2 really easy teams in squad battles. I have to play a fair bit of squad battles. Oh god, they would be very aggressive to play. I've got to play a lot of squad battles this week because of the objectives. I'm going to go after and finish the Icon Swap single player. So I'm going to finish these 2 halfway through the Liga MX, and then I've got to do the Turkish League to get those 2 tokens. That takes us up to 7, and then we've got to start work on the online stuff, which is, oh god, it's just going to be a slog. While trying to hit sort of week silver and on all this week 2 and 3 silver, etc. We've got some pre-order packs to open, of course, so we'll go into those right now. Let's open up this premium loan. I'm well excited. Do I seriously like Nesta that much? Got him from swaps and he just gets caught for lack of pace and agility constantly. Also, Marcelo with a shadow is very underrated, solid for building. Yeah, well, I mean, the thing with... Lone Ozil, can't wait to not use that. It's going to be fantastic. Nesta's actually not been caught once for me. I've been whether I've been lucky, I don't know. He's not once have I gone, oh, that goal was because Nesta. You know, Nesta's absolutely fantastic for me, and like I said, he'll probably stay there till the end. Marcelo's stamina's awful, needs to go. Don't care how good he is at building up and doing this and doing that. He just needs to go. This is going to give us absolutely nothing. And that, unfortunately. Let's move on to the next one. I don't really know. In tomorrow's episode, I'm either going to... Oh, hello. I'm either going to do, like, live gameplay, or I think what I'm going to do is do a draft to make up for the lack of squad battles, squad battle packs. Because normally, today, we have, we finish sort of, I don't know, gold something, and we've got a couple of packs to open, but today all we've had is pre-order packs and a premium loan pack or whatever it was. So, and we're not even going to get a board in any of them, so it's not like there's any excitement there. So I might do a draft, although I don't know how exciting getting knocked out in the first round packs will be, but hey, we can try, right? I'm hearing a lot of buzz around draft, you know, and the fact that the rewards versus the stress level, blah blah blah, that they're better because they're instant. It's all that sort of instant gratification nonsense without having to wait till Thursday. And I get it, but unfortunately for me, I always seem to choke in like round 1 or something. Yeah, so I'm reluctant to do it. But we've got 126k or something. We could play a draft, that's for sure. I would build it now, but it's like I don't want to build it now and then play it tomorrow and blah blah blah. So what we're gonna do is we'll do that in an episode tomorrow. Then we'll probably have live gameplay on Wednesday, whatever day that is, and then rewards will be the day after. What day is it today? It is Monday, right? Yeah, pretty sure it is. I think what I'm gonna do now is do a 2-player pack. So I just don't know what to fill the episode with, really. We've had some gameplay. I've opened the pre-order packs, but in theory, there should be something for us to go and just do, you know? Like, I don't know what they need to introduce, but they need to introduce something on the menu. What could it be? They need to introduce something on menus that you can, like, actually do. Not something that, like, you know, trade-in or anything. I'm not talking about trade-in. I'm talking about something you can physically go out, like, go onto the menu and like a mini game or something, just something that we can like actually do on the menu rather than just sit there. I feel like I'm sat here now. I'm thinking, right, well, the only thing I could really do is go into a game. Obviously, I don't want to go into a game. I've just been playing games, etc. So it would be nice if we had something to do. I'm just talking nonsense, but I'm just thinking about it then. Like, how awesome would it be if I could just write, well, we're just going to do this for 10 minutes, you know? Like, almost like a sim draft or something. That would be kind of cool. Like, kind of like Pacey Bits. Pacey Bits, I haven't been on it this year, but they've got, or they had last year, some really cool ideas that obviously have been in the game for God knows how long, and they probably are the same this year. But the idea behind it is you build a draft, right? And then instead of actually playing the game, what happens is it kind of goes like top trumps, and you then pit your team against your opponents. You both are present when it happens. You go into a game against each other, but it's not an actual game of football. It's just your screen against their screen, and you can see what cards they have versus what cards you have, and you basically play like, you know, highest stat sort of thing against each other. And that was unbelievable fun on Pacey Bits. I enjoyed that a lot, and I swear if they brought that into FIFA, I don't think they ever would, but if they brought that into FIFA, I'd be all over that. I would do that a lot. Maybe, you know, reduce the packs, or give set rewards, or like there's 3 reward sets, and you could get one of these 3 sort of thing. And make it so that there's an entry like 15k, etc. But I'd love that, honestly. Building squads and then just going into like a top trumps game would be brilliant. That'd be so cool if they could just take that idea. The 2-player pack was an absolute bust. We didn't get anything good in it, unfortunately, but at least we filled a little bit of time by talking about that Pacey Bits thing. I mentioned it last year, and I don't know. I mean, it's not something that they won't do, but just because Pacey Bits have done it, they can't do it because it was Pacey Bits' idea. Top Trumps has been around for decades, right? So if Pacey Bits could do it and get away with it, I'm pretty sure EA could find a way around it in terms of legalities. So I wouldn't be worried about that. But how cool would it be? You know, I've just built this team in draft, for instance, and now my opponent's got a team up against me, and I can't see his team. It's all sort of blacked out. And then it's his turn. He picks a player, so he picks a midfielder, and I have to pick a midfielder. So it comes up. He's picked a midfielder. So I look at mine and I'm like, right, my midfielding here. So it would be a combination of, say, maybe passing and dribbling, and it would give me a number. So in this game mode, instead of having pace, shooting, passing, etc., or maybe he just says, oh, you know, I've got, man, that would be a bit stupid, because then you just literally build your team for pace. So in this one, it would be, you'd have defending midfield or whatever it is, and shooting or being a forward or whatever, and you'd have just 3 numbers next to them, right? And then I would go, so say Kante's midfielding is 87, so I take him and I put him up, and then he's got Jordan Henderson, whose midfielding is 81 or 82 or something, so I win. And then it's my turn, and then I pick someone, and so on and so forth. It's simple, brilliant, it's fun. It would be quick as well. Building the team would be the longest part of it, because you used to do those on Pacey Bits, and it wouldn't take you long at all. Like, you'd build the team, and then you'd go into... I mean, saying that, was that how it worked? That's how the actual game worked. I don't know whether that was how their draft system worked. But either way, that game mode in this would be amazing if you could just build a team in draft and go into a top trump style. Tomorrow, we will have a draft, and we will get knocked out in the first round and pick up 2 5k packs. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, though. If I don't make it to either the semis or the final, I will do 2 drafts tomorrow. I'm hoping to be able to do well enough to make it to the final, but it depends on how it goes and what, you could just get unlucky with your opponent, right? People always say, oh, you should be getting to the final quite consistently, but if you meet someone who should also be getting to the final quite consistently on the way, then there's just, one of you is going to lose, right? So, yeah, it is what it is. But I apologise for the lack of anything in this video, but if you have enjoyed it, then do me a favour and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index, the game changed. Download the app now.